Last year on Valentine's Day, I made a special video about the self-love that you're very welcome to check out. And this year, I also want to do something special. Hi everyone, my name is Alexandra. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. When I have gotten into my current relationship, I didn't want to become one of those girls who are losing everything else and just fully focus on the relationship, like makes her boyfriend her whole personality. And as much as my boyfriend is like a wonderful person, okay, he's amazing, but he's already the whole person, okay? He is himself. And I don't want him to become everything about me. I was me before I got into the relationship. I wouldn't want to lose that. I am so much more than my relationship. I'm so much more than my problems. I am so much more than my university or than, I don't know, my job. I am so much more than just those areas of my life. I am a whole. And I don't want to lose this whole just because this area of my life has changed. Your purpose in life is not to be somebody's girlfriend or a wife or a mother, like as much as you might love to become those. Like, for example, it was always my biggest dream to have a happy, healthy family. I would love to do that. But I know that if I had just gotten that and none of my other dreams, I wouldn't be satisfied. I wouldn't be happy. And I don't strike to be just that. I want to be so much more. I really don't think it's unreasonable. And I feel like there are so many guides on how to thrive as a single, how to grow as a woman, or how to be happy even though you're not in a relationship. And I don't feel like there are so many guides on how to grow while being in a relationship, because of course it changes. Even though you don't want your boyfriend to become your whole personality, you are still changed as a person. You are still trying to build this connection between two people, and it's a huge thing, right? It's a really big area of your life, and even though you shouldn't just focus on this area, some of your attention still goes there. And how to not lose your mind trying to balance those two things, I think like I finally found a key. You were growing before, you were developing before, you were trying to find yourself before. You shouldn't stop while being into the relationship. While, okay, you found your person, but you are still, it's your person and you're his person, but you're still a person. And so you're still supposed to develop this person as much as you can. You're still supposed to find this person. Like, who are you? Because, okay, you might be soulmates. And I'm not saying all those stuff like, what if you guys break up? Don't focus on them because they might do you dirty. No, I'm not trying to say that. Like, I'm not getting into the relationship with the whole vision, like, what if things go wrong? Like, I'm not even thinking about that. But what I am thinking about is I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to lose myself just on the sake of having a person. Because, okay, I am my favorite person in the whole world. And it's not gonna change. Even though I might love them with my whole heart, it's still my heart, it's still my life. And I also heard this one thing from women in my life, also men in my life, which honestly made me very happy, and from few therapists, that the best relationship dynamic is when both of the people, when woman and a man, is centering a woman. When you are centering yourself, because as a feminine energy, we're supposed to attract. As a male energy, they're supposed to chase. When we are centering ourselves, they are chasing us. Both of the energies are being fulfilled. And so when you are centering yourself, when you are still putting yourself as a person, he can still find himself, but he's still gonna pursue you. He's still gonna go after you. This is like the most beautiful relationship dynamic, but that was a bit of the point. I knew from the beginning that my boyfriend wouldn't ever put me in a position to choose between him and myself, because he's just not this kind of person. He wants me to grow as much. And we were always saying from the beginning, because we were friends long time before, so we knew that if we are gonna get into the relationship, this is gonna be something serious. And we were saying, my main thing is I want us to better ourselves together. Like, I want you to learn from me. I want to learn from you. We have different areas when we can bring each other up, when we are both trying to bring the other person up. And so I wasn't worried about him trying to put me in a cage or anything like that. Relationship is something that, especially when it's new, it's really taking a lot of your energy, a lot of your focus. And so, like I said at the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm not going to become one of those women. And I didn't. But after a while, I remember the exact moment when I realized something is off, because we were going in a train. I was visiting him in Puglia. We were in a train. We were looking outside of the window. And I remember that he was either talking on the phone or he was doing something with work. I'm not sure. But he was basically focused on his stuff. And I was watching outside of the window. And I remembered, because I was living in Puglia for a year. And I remember that when I was living there, I was watching those little things all the time. And I was journaling a lot. And I was just basically having so many those reflections. And I realized, hey, I didn't do it for a while. And honestly, it really wrecked me. I really didn't like this kind of thing. I was going and I was watching outside of the train and I was like, did I lose myself? Why did I stop having those reflections? I was writing poetry much more often. I was journaling much more often. I was painting, I was drawing, I was dancing. I stopped doing it as much. And I hated that realization because it was very true, because it made me seem like, oh my God, am I one of those girls? Am I one of those women who are losing themselves in a relationship? And even though I couldn't imagine having a healthier relationship than I have right now, I was still kind of losing myself, and it was my choice. And it was in my power to do something about it because, like I said, this is my life. I am responsible for my own decisions. So even if this thing is so amazing, it is still in my choice if I'm losing myself in it or not, if I'm putting all of my energy in it or not. And so I said to my man, like, I stopped doing those things. I feel like I'm losing myself in a relationship. I don't want it to become my personality. I don't want the fact that you're so amazing and we're so great together and I'm being a great girlfriend. I don't want that to become my personality trait. I'm so much more. And he was like, well, I agree, but what do you mean you started losing yourself? And I said to him, I stopped doing those things. There were so many things that people were literally recognizing with me because I was doing them so much, because I was just pursuing all of those goals and doing those things. I was having so many habits, so many routines. And right now, even though I have some of my routines, so many habits from those routines I don't do anymore. And I don't know why. And he was like, well, baby, then I think you should focus on that. I like, what is the example? And he was literally trying to guide me more into like being more with myself, which I really appreciated because he's just a biggest green flag, which I love. But he was trying to guide me into the whole thing. He was trying to be like my therapist for a bit. I was having more of the realizations and I was like, okay, it's time for me to take some of my energy from the relationship into myself. It's not just I'm not caring as much because I love more and more every day. I care more and more every day, but it's just about the focus. I stopped centering myself as much. And since I flipped the switch, I feel like not only he is more obsessed with me, I'm feeling so much happier. And after like, I think a month of doing such work, we were talking on FaceTime and he was like, Ola, I can see you being so much happier. And I said, I am being so much happier. Even though, like I said, our relationship is growing day by day more and more, I am also growing day by day more and more. And since I am not just my relationship, when all of those areas of me are growing, I am becoming better. I am not my relationship. Even if it thrives, I don't want only it to thrive. And how did I do it? I just literally started doing all those things as I did before getting into the relationship. Because when you think of how to thrive as a single, how to build yourself as a woman, how to do all those things without a man, you can still do it while having a man. You can still buy your flowers, you can still journal, you can still have those date nights, you can still take yourself to the movies, you can still go out with your friends, you can still go to therapy, you can still do shadow work, you can still do so much stuff. And even though I love those little routines of me and my boyfriends, like we pray every day before bed, we pray together. And this was something I was doing also by myself before. And so even though we pray together, afterwards, before I go to bed, I still pray by myself. Before going to bed, I still journal. I still reflect on my life, on my day. And when somebody asks me, how is it going? My first response isn't about my relationships. It's about actually me. And I'm thinking to myself, what are the areas that I always wanted to be in? Like, for example, acting. And I ask myself, what are the things, what are my personality traits that I want to enhance a bit, that I want to make more visible to other people? Like, for example, people always commented that I'm kind or that I'm always smiling. Or recently I had heard this comment that I am so intelligent and this was the comment that actually really got into my mind because this was not something that somebody said to me. This was something somebody commented to my family relative, and they said to me that I am so intelligent that they don't remember the last time they met somebody who is so knowledgeable. And they said that, and they're in medicine, and my field is IT, and I just love neuroscience and I love hormonal stuff like biochemistry, just like basically biohacking, like all those things I fully love. Also herbalism. I really enjoy learning about stuff like that. I really enjoy learning in general. And so we were talking and they were saying some stuff to me and I was just having a conversation with them, and they said to my family relative that they don't remember the last time they met somebody so intelligent and so knowledgeable about so many topics, because we were switching between the topics. And honestly, this is something I was hearing since I was very little. I'm very disciplined, I'm very productive, I'm very kind, I'm smiling a lot, I'm very joyful. Those are the things, those are my qualities that I really enjoy. And I don't want to hear all those like, oh, you're egocentric, you're so self-obsessed. Yes, I am self-obsessed, but this is not the point. The point is that I know my qualities, I know my traits, and I'm trying to enhance them even more. Day by day, I'm working on myself. It's not like I don't have any bad traits. I do have bad traits, but I'm trying to eliminate them. I am trying day by day to become better. What are the traits that I want to enhance? What are my traits? Not about my relationship. What is going on in my life? And what was going on before I met my boyfriend in my life? What was I focusing focused on. Like, for example, did I had any reading goals? Did I had any academic goals? Did I want to pursue any new hobbies? Like, start doing those things as if you didn't have a boyfriend, because you are whole in yourself, okay? He is also whole in himself, and you're just supposed to connect those two holes. It's not like you have one life together and you're just like squishing there. No, don't squish yourself to be in a relationship. Grow yourself, because the bigger you are as a person, the more enjoyable other stuff is gonna be. The more enjoyable your family connections are gonna be, your relationship, your friends, the more enjoyable everything else is gonna be, because you're gonna be whole by yourself. You're not gonna be in the relationship, be in the friendship, be with like in a relationship with your family from a place of being desperate. You're gonna be with them from a place of being fulfilled in yourself, but still choosing to be with them day by day. So just do the stuff. Just literally do those hobbies. Just don't stop growing. It's honestly a choice. You're choosing day by day what to focus on. You're choosing day by day your mental state. There's such thing as neuroplasticity, which means that we actually can reprogram our brain. It's not just like a saying. Whenever I was saying how to reprogram your brain, how to do this, how to change your brain chemistry, you can actually do so. There's, like I said, there's such thing as neuroplasticity, which you can read more about, which I love this topic. And you can actually change your brain, like physically change your brain. And so every day you choose how to be. Every day you are choosing what to focus on. You are choosing the way you think. You're choosing what neural connections you have in your brain. You are choosing this day by day. So if you want to change anything about it, you can change anything about it. If you want to focus more on yourself, if you want to center yourself, it's all from a place of mentality. You can literally just think to yourself, how can I center myself? And then do everything about it. Like I said, this is very personal. So I'm not going to say to you, journal, go on walks, do Pilates, because if you don't enjoy doing Pilates, if you want to weightlift, or if you want to dance, or if you want to, I don't know, do yoga or just stretch, even though weightlifting is very healthy for you, it literally is really good for your brain, but this is off the topic. Just do anything in all the areas. Like I said, there are so many hobbies that you can start pursuing. There are so many areas where you can literally just grow. Those areas that were within you as a child. I have a whole video about how to grow from your like inner child self, which you're very welcome also to check out. And so literally just figure out what are the things living within you that you want to enhance. And when I was talking about the choices, when I was talking about you choose every day, not from a place of being desperate, but from a place of being fulfilled, and you choose to be with the other person, this is something that brings me to the other point that I'm trying to make is I hate all those videos of how to make a man obsessed with you, how to make him be with you all the time, how to make a man fall in love with you so hard. Don't. Why? Okay, this is not centering yourself. When you are watching all those videos, how to make him, don't make him. Why would you make him? Just be yourself, center yourself, because I wouldn't want to be in a relationship when a man is manipulated into staying with me. And it's not even about manipulation, but when I am actively all the time doing something to just create this vision of me in his head, I don't want that. I want him to love me as fully myself. I want him to know where he's getting himself into, because guess what? I don't want to do all those stuff till the end of my life. I don't want to try to, okay, how can I make him like, no, this is not what I want. I want to have a relationship when both people choose to be with each other day by day. This is something that Damiano Davide said, and I really loved this interview of his. He said that love is not a feeling. Love is something that you wake up and you're like, okay, oggi ti amo, which means today I love you. And you do all those things that show the other person that you love them. Love is not a feeling. Love are the actions that you take to show the other person how you feel about them. I find it so real, because if you do not talk in the love languages of the other person, they don't see it. You have to talk in the love languages of the other person. Then they can feel loved. So your love is only understood when you show the other person in their language how they feel. And I was always saying, it's not that I don't see you doing stuff for me, but this is not what I need. If you're doing the stuff for the other person, you're understanding and you're choosing how to make them understand you, how to make them feel loved, this is love. Love is about caring so much about the other person and about how they are feeling, to day by day work on the relationship. It's not just a feeling. People love each other so much and yet they get divorced. People love each other so much and sometimes they cheat. Love is a choice. It's not like you cannot feel something towards somebody and still hurt them. Yes, you can. You can love, and you know that the other person loves you, and you both can hurt each other. But this is not true love. Love is not just about feeling. Love is about doing. You can choose to love yourself every single day, day by day. Because something that also brings me to the other point that I'm trying to make, relationship is supposed to make you happier, not happy. You are supposed to make yourself happy, and then the relationship is enhancing that. It's not the other way around. It's not that I'm feeling so tragic, I'm feeling so bad. You're expecting the other person to make you what? To make you the happiest person in the world? No, this is not how it's supposed to work. This is not the way relationship works. And it all comes down to everyday consistency is a key. Every day, center yourself, choose yourself, do all those little habits, have your routines. It's not like you have your plans and your boyfriend's calling like, hey, you want to meet up? Yes, everything, like I'm clear. My schedule's clear. Yes, let's do it. No, I have a long distance relationship, which makes it very, very hard sometimes to actually feel fully the connection. And we have some of the rules to actually keep us so connected. And one of them is having a date night 2 times a week. And we schedule it to the future because we would never expect from each other to change the plans of the other person. Like, for example, if he is saying to me, he is meeting his friends, I'm like, okay, this is not like I'm saying, okay, don't go, stay with me. Or if I was having some plans and he would be like, are you seriously choosing them like above me? It's not about choosing. It's just about having your own life. It's just about having your own space. And this is okay. 2 days a week are non-negotiable for us. And he is one of my biggest priorities in life, but it's still my life. I still want to create my own life and we still have the choices. And I wouldn't expect him to change the plans for me. But if, for example, he has a full week of the plans, I know that he would change some things. And this is okay. If I had the plans every single evening for the whole week, first of all, I wouldn't make it because I know that like we're supposed to have 2 nights a week, the plans. But there were some situations where, for example, we didn't match at all with the days. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to ask my friend if we can switch to the other day. I'm not canceling my plans. I'm not closing myself from the other areas of my life. I am just trying to manage those 2 things. But it's all in the healthy mindset. It's all in the mindset of, it's not like I have to do it. I would like to do it, but it's also my choice. And it's also me focusing on myself. I know that I'm going to have the blast with my boyfriend and it's always amazing and he always puts so much effort in the date nights, which I love. I know that I'm gonna have a blast and this is something I choose to do, but it's not my main focus. It's not that it's just, okay, the whole day, it's just about having a date night. For example, tonight I'm having a date night, but it's not like it's a whole focus of the day. It's a whole highlight of the day. I love to meet with him. He is one of my closest people and I love him so much, but it is still my life. He's one of the closest people in my life, but it is still my life. And I also think this is the key to have a healthy relationship and a happy relationship because you still make yourselves happy and then make each other happier. This is the kind of thing you should focus on in a relationship. I cannot tell you specifically, like I said, what you're supposed to do because this is very, very personal. You're just supposed to look within yourself and just find how can you grow within yourself? How can you still focus on yourself? Because this is, like I said, very, very personal. There's no one way for that. But the whole thing is the focus. The whole thing is the mindset. The whole thing is centering yourself. And that is all I wanted to say in today's video. I love you guys so, so much. I hope your Valentine's Day was amazing and I cannot wait to talk to you next week. I love you. Bye!